Good morning, everybody. Welcome to EBI News for You, number 71. With me, it's Eddie B, and my co-host, the lovely, wearing of the green, Donnie Lowe this morning. All the comments and statements
The
by
love.
Eddie Lowe and Eddie Lowe. Yeah, we're married now. Eddie Lowe, Eddie Buffalo, and Donnie Lowe are purely for entertainment purposes. Top of the morning to you, lad. How are you? Don't
I'm
take too
fine.
much
I'm
of the
fine.
creature
Top of the
today,
morning
Donnie.
to you, my friend. Oh my
Can never get
goodness. Well,
enough
first of
is our
all,
friends at
but
Pins and Aces, pinsandaces.com.
that's right.
Oh, I'm doing my commercial, Don. Back off. Pinsandaces.com. Pins and Aces, you're looking for a gift. You're looking for, something for you, a gift for you, gift yourself, especially for our Irish friends, they do have the beer tap in a bag. There it is, the lick a stick 3.0. So there's been 3 versions of it. That's kind of crazy, isn't
I
it?
guess so.
So go find your stuff, see what you like, and go when you go to your buggy or your shopping cat, whatever you want to do, and put in promo code Buffalo, you get the 21% off. So check out our friends at Pins and Aces and go buy some stuff. Donnie needs to get a new pair of shoes. Now you can do your stuff, Don.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Best way to experience the podcast is if you go to our YouTube channel, EBI Media, EBI News for You, EBI Media. So there you can like, share, and subscribe. We would appreciate that very much. And if you prefer to listen to podcasts, you can listen wherever you get your podcast
Which a
because
lot
we're
of
probably
people
there.
do. We're here.
So
We're there. We're everywhere.
That's right. 53 different podcast depositories. And you can also like, share, and subscribe. You can send us an email when you hit the fan mail button. Maybe if you have ideas for future topics, if you just have questions, or you just want to say, hey, how you doing? So I was waiting for you to interrupt me.
I'm being a good boy today. It's so funny. Look at he's that little Italian fella on the screen. He thinks he's Irish today. Isn't that cute? Yeah, it's funny because I did 2 pretty funny songs this morning. The one was pretty catchy. Blanks McGee and it talks about a woman's anatomy. So which I knew a lot of those women back in South Buffalo. So Blanks McGee. Yeah. I don't it like boobies, but it's a different word, just so you know. You gotta check it out on Suno on EBI Media. And then the other one, Don, talked about a guy named Johnny that lived up on a mountain. He was mean to his dog, hated everybody, had rotten teeth, and they were hoping his heart grew 3 times that size someday, as long as it wasn't heart disease.
Oh my goodness.
So my one buddy, Gary, at the gym in the morning, he's the first person I hear from every morning. Hey, good morning. He texts me. And then so I texted him clips of those 2 songs. He goes, what? And I go, hey, you're not Irish. Everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day. And he finally understood why I sent it to him. So yes. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I know my son at his restaurant, they usually go through over 750 pounds of corned beef on St. Patty's Day weekend. That's insanity.
Wow. That's a lot. That's
and
crazy.
I used to, when I was a fat guy, I used to eat 700 pounds of it.
Do you really like corned beef and cabbage?
I like cooking it with cabbage, but I never eat the cabbage. And it's funny because I like uncooked cabbage and I like sauerkraut, so I'm just kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a cheap plug. You want fantastic corned beef and corned beef and cabbage sandwich tonight. You want wings, you want fresh cut fries, go to 911 at 911 Bloomfield Avenue. And the guy that's in the kitchen looks just like me, but it's not me.
That's scary. That's scary.
So,
but before we go on, I just wanted to finish off and say thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you being here and spending your time with us.
That's all. That's all you got.
That's it.
How about slancha? You're not gonna say slancha?
Cilantro. No, cilantro? You're gonna make some salsa
No,
or
no,
something?
no, you silly sausage of an Irish Italian man. No, it's like a toast that the Irish use. Slancha. Slancha. I'm probably
Ah,
destroying it. But my nice little girl that is in my song, she says it at the end of the song. So I thought that was kind of apropos to talk about.
there you
Holy
go.
crap, Don. You love them, you hate them. Depends on who you are. The president of the world, Donald Trump, on tour, coming to a country near you. Well, first of
Yeah,
all,
that's true.
we are not a political show. I mean, I was brought up Polish Irish Catholic. You know, my parents were Democrats, so in South Buffalo, every year a Democrat too. But I always voted for whoever I wanted to. So it was a very interesting past 24 hours. I mean, obviously we have the war raging in Iran, and please send all your prayers and good thoughts to all our service people over there. We lost
Yeah.
another 7 of them the other day on a refueling plane. It went down. And that's just heartbreaking. Remember, like I said, whether you like the war or not, we were a supporter. These people have their own folks that love them very much and they want to see them come home safe. And I definitely want that to happen for all of our servicemen over there. So Don, just since recently, people are starting to go to Cuba. When we were kids, it was only Canadians because I mean the embargo of Americans going to Cuba, you couldn't do it. Cuba has had a blackout for over 24 hours. Not a city, not a town, the whole country.
You have to wonder what that's about.
Well, you know what? The infrastructure is so piss poor, unfortunately, that I mean, just think about not having electricity. You know, and which I thought was funny until I thought about it. I mean, you saw a lot of motorcycles and cars and trucks still driving around. You need electricity to pump gas. So when you're out of gas, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
You know. So
No,
President Trump, you know, in a roundabout way, said, "We're going to come to Cuba. We're going to be nice or maybe not so nice. It depends." like Donnie usually said, it depends.
It depends.
You know, and people are just shocked by what's going on in the world and shocked that Donald Trump has started so many different things going on, you know. But
yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, Don, and I've said this before he was president, before he was on Celebrity Apprentice. I read every one of that man's books. And the funny thing is, everyone had the same chapter about getting a prenup. Shocker on that one right there. But a lot of the stuff, I've said this before, a lot of the stuff that he's doing now pretty much said in the book over 20 years ago. If I was president, da 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 da. And so they were showing clips this morning from 1999, 2002. If I was president, I'd go into Iran, wipe them out, and take over the oil. Like, holy shit. I mean, like I said, whether you like him or not, this is what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? And especially down here, even in Texas, there's a lot of people that love Trump, a lot of people that don't, you know? And that's totally up to you. I mean, I have friends and family members, you know, that say the same thing, you know, and we're still talking about if we want to have a show about the Epstein files, because something came to my attention the other day, but Donnie doesn't want to talk about it, and I'm okay with that too, because it's such a hot topic right now. But I had no idea what I'm talking about, you know, and my daughters were telling me about it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds crazy. And unfortunately, it was true. So, you know, life is a lot crazier than fiction sometimes. That's the sad part of all this, Don. You know, it's crazy to me.
It
And
is. It is.
so, like I said, you got to make up your own decision. I love my one buddy at the gym, Gordon. He is in his 80s. He still goes to the gym every morning, and he is a veteran. And yeah, all this, you don't know what to believe on the news. You know, it's all sensationalism and all this and that. Because Gordon is a very interesting person. He taught perception in the Army, which I didn't
Oh,
even
really?
know was a thing. Because you got to think about it. Perception is everything. I mean, everybody loves Donnie Lowe. Nobody likes me. That's perception. Some people love Eddie. They still love Donnie. Wait a second. Do you have a buffalo tie on too, Don?
I do. It's with the
I
blue
used to. I
tie
think
with
I still have
green
one back in
buffaloes.
Buffalo. Yeah, I used to have one of those in
Awesome.
Buffalo. So, but Donnie wanted to know where my green was. I said I got green on every day, baby. And you never heard of Black Irish? That's where my black shirt's coming from.
The only
And I got
Black
a little
Irish
bit
I
of
heard
a
of was
tan.
Guinness.
So call me Guinness. I got a little bit of a tan, and I'm wearing black. I'm black and tan.
There you go.
So Donnie, I know you had a couple topics you wanted to talk about this morning. So you have the stage, my friend.
All right. Well, let's see. I mean, since you started talking about President Trump and controlling oil and all of that, so obviously because of the war, and it's all speculators that the cost of gasoline has really risen. So, do you
A
know
lot.
what are
The
you paying in
average,
Texas?
the average across the country is 79 cents. I saw on the news this morning, but in
379.
Texas, it's gone up. It's gone up a lot more than that because
Oh,
for the
okay.
longest time we were at 216, and when I passed the gas station this morning, we were at 331 still. Which the high I
Okay.
think I've seen was 367 here,
So
which
it's
is ugly.
yeah, but that's still lower than what the average price was at the end of the prior
I
administration's term.
I well, he said this
So,
is the first time in history that the average price of diesel is $5 a gallon.
oh, okay. But I guess my point is going to be that yes, the price of gasoline has gone up, in a very short amount of time,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's directly related to what's going on with Iran and Hormuz Strait and that. But where was the media, under during the prior administration
I
when?
saw a meme about that, Don. Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
really? So I
Mhm.
mean, the gas was higher, but not a word was said about it. And now, our illustrious governor of New York State, Kathy Hochul,
Oh,
is
you're
in
trashing
Buffalo.
Kathy Hochul. You're trashing it.
Well, she came into Buffalo for the St. Patrick's Day parade, and she's talking about the high price of gasoline, and we're not going to take that in New York State. So we're going to look into what we can do to lower the price of gasoline. I'm like,
I call
really?
shit on that, Kathy.
How about you lower the state tax the excise tax on gasoline? How about
I
that?
mean, I remember my Uncle Bob that lived upstairs from me when I was a kid. He would always say, back in the early 80s, New York State instituted a temporary 5 cents tax on gasoline that was supposed to go to schools. Well, it didn't go to schools. And number two, it's still there.
And it's not 5 cents. I don't know what I think it's the highest in the
Well,
country. I'm not sure what it
originally,
is.
but
Yeah.
that's on top of all the other taxes, and that's why you guys pay so much. I mean, how'd you
Yeah.
like to be in California though, Don? They're going to be lucky to get gas soon.
I know.
So I saw another. I know. I saw another thing like somebody posted from California. Gas is $8.99. It's cheaper to buy beer. Drink beer, don't drive. I thought it was pretty damn funny, actually.
Oh my gosh.
It's so scary out there. For the hell of it, I'm going to look while you're talking on what's the average price of gasoline across the country.
So I think the average price,
Gasoline in the United States. Hope she doesn't start talking. Well, I don't know how true this is, Don. 372 to 379. How much you guys paying back in
Yeah,
Buffalo?
I saw that this morning.
Around there?
Yeah, in
They're saying
Buffalo,
it's
they said the
three.
average is around 3. It's a little bit below the state average and the federal average, 360-ish.
They're saying there's regional variation. The West Coast, they're looking at 550 a gallon right now. What are the two states with the lowest gasoline, Don? It's not Texas.
I would think Mississippi and maybe Louisiana. No?
Neither. Kansas and Oklahoma. They're below 330 per gallon, which we
I
are
could,
pretty darn close to that right now.
yeah, I could see
You know,
Oklahoma. That's Kansas, that is
and
interesting.
like they were just saying, national average diesel prices are around $5 per gallon. So, I don't drink anymore. So can I take all the booze that I used to drink and just put it in my gas tank instead? Like get my car drunk on is that like ethanol?
You know what?
I did see one time.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I just
I
saw
remember
something.
watching
I think it
YouTube video.
was it Jay Leno has a
Look
car.
at Donnie. Donnie keeps on interrupting to me. I never do that to him. He's pretty rude.
I'm sorry. No, you know what? It's because you keep getting cut off, and I don't know if you're talking or not talking.
Well, how about that? That better done. Okay, go ahead.
But
I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead.
well, no, what I was going to say was I saw something. I think it's Jay Leno has a car. He's an avid, and we've talked about this just the other day. He's an avid car collector, and he not only collects them, but he works on them. He puts in different engines, he modifies them. But supposedly there's a car, and I can't remember if it's Jay Leno's or not, where for its fuel you can put in just about anything that can burn. So whether it's gasoline, oil, kerosene, alcohol, and the engine will start and it'll run the car. So you can, like you said, get the tequila and pour it in there, and it'll run the car.
What I think's crazy, like you remember odd things from when you were a child. But one thing that I remember the singer John Denver. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High. Don't know the rest of the words now. But I remember a story like on the news, and like I said, weird things stick in your head when you're a kid. But during the energy crisis, so this is going back, what was that, 73, 74?
Yeah, 73, 74, 75-ish.
I was like 8 years old. I remember the big story was that why do I call Don? It's because of you, Don. John Denver actually put a gas pump at his house.
Now that you mentioned it, I do remember
like
that. Yeah, yeah.
So
Crazy.
basically, I went around the horn. All I did was put in Donald Trump, and I'm hitting the news button. Day 17 in the Middle East conflict. Trump criticizes nations for not committing to assist with Hormuz Strait crisis. And then Trump orders NATO, China to reopen. And then the Financial Times is saying China is not going to bail Trump out. It's like, hey, he's drowning. Throw him an anchor. There you go, pal. I thought I could help you out there. So this is a very interesting thing, Don. And we all know that people in California, they're very nature and ecology and everything like this. Here's the big story. Oil begins flowing through California pipeline under Trump order. What do you think about that, Don? Oil has not flowed through the pipeline since 2015 rupture caused by an environmental disaster on California's Central Coast. It sets up a new fight between Trump administration and state officials. I mean, come on, guys. If you get to the point where people can't get to work because they can't drive to work because they can't afford the gasoline in their vehicle, it's okay to, like the environment and want to, do all that. And I'm all for that, especially Allie Buffalo. She was a sustainability major for quite a while. And I'm all for that. Save the planet, leave it for my grandkids and things like that. But like I said, if it gets to a point where it's affecting people's lives where they can't do their livelihood, that's
Yeah.
awful. I mean,
No, that's
another
true.
part of the pandemic that really broke a lot of us is that everybody wants to work from home now. Nobody wants to go to work. They want to work, but they want to work from home, which is
Yeah,
kind of very
that's
interesting.
very true. That's very true. I was talking with a small business owner yesterday, and he was talking about it's so hard to get good people to work. They just, he said, he'll interview somebody, he thinks they're great. They'll show up for the first day and then they won't show up again, or they don't even show up for the first day. He says it's frustrating, you know. I saw something too, an economic theory lesson that's pretty much like live, that was happening live. So as everybody's probably heard, like different Starbucks locations across the country are trying to unionize. And there was a
First one
Starbucks
was in
in,
Buffalo.
yes, exactly. But there's a Starbucks in the state of Washington that, the store was just, I guess, average, performing average, and it wasn't performing that well, I guess you can say. So the workers, they decided to go on strike because they wanted more pay or whatever else they want. So the strike lasted for around 3 months, and the workers said, "All right, we want to come back." And Starbucks said, "No, I'm sorry. This store has been underperforming, so we're going to close it anyway. We were going to close it anyway. Oh, and by the way, we're not reassigning anybody to any other Starbucks."
That's
So,
pretty. Excuse me, that's pretty shitty.
but I guess that the point was that's a lesson in economics, because in economics, really the fittest survive, business models or whatever, and the others don't. So, so they faced a economic lesson in real life,
Well, Don, I know we don't have a lot of time, but there's something that another thing that I saw online that I thought was very interesting. They had a list of jobs that are going to be eliminated by AI and jobs that are resistant to AI. And if you watch the show long enough, you know that I have embraced AI for a lot of different things. So most jobs, I'm just going to do it real quick, Don. Jobs most at risk of AI elimination: office and administrative staff, customer service, and sales. This was a big one that I really got scared at because my daughter's an accountant. Routine analysis and accounting. Content generation and design, because you can do it yourself. I've been showing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
What is a medical scribe, Don? I don't know what that is. Do you? Anybody knows
Yeah,
in the comments, let us know.
somebody that takes, like a doctor will dictate notes and then somebody scribes it into the system.
They eat, and the one job that I was really shocked to hear them say that's going to be eliminated is cooks and chefs. A lot of businesses are automating their kitchen, or and I never wrapped my head around this, what they were saying. But look at factory workers. My dad was a stamping plant employee. He retired from the Ford stamping plant. He had a very good life. He made a lot of money, not a lot of money, but he at least had a good life out of it. He was retired for at least 30 years, so it went really well for him. But they're saying, like, factory workers are going to be gone, because guess what? You don't need, Don, and this is something I never thought of. You don't need lights.
That's interesting. That's true.
You don't have to worry if they're cold or hot.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting.
That is very interesting.
On the other hand, jobs resisting to AI automation: healthcare professionals, doctors, nurses, and specialized therapists. And then
You know,
skilled trade. I have a nephew that's a plumber in Boston. He's doing very well for himself. And they're saying skilled trades as in plumbers, electricians, and carpenters. Well, of course, you need electricity, so AI is not going to get rid of those jobs. Creativity and strategy. Creative directors, senior managers, and legal experts. Interesting. Education and social services. Teachers and social work who require empathy or personal connection. And we've talked about that. How are you going to teach AI empathy? You know?
I know. Yeah.
So, take it with a grain of salt. But I think a lot of this is coming sooner than what they're saying, to be honest with you.
I know.
Because
I
if these companies can save a buck, they're going to do it.
Oh, for sure. But I guess one thing that surprises me on the list of things that will not be affected in the healthcare industry with physicians, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, that surprises me because I would think that routine medical visits can be done with AI. But I think your specialists you'll always need, a specialist surgeon or.
The one thing I always think of, like, okay, you got to either put mom or dad in the old folks home, and they're going to poop, they're going to poop themselves, and you're going to have a robot come in and wipe their butt. Where's the empathy there? Where's the care? Where is being gentle so you're not hurting mom or dad?
Yeah.
That's something that and that's a real life thing. It's not anything we want to talk about because nobody wants to think about things like that. But it's scary, Empathy is huge. And what kills me is so many people don't know the difference between empathy and sympathy. And I'm not being funny. It's the truth,
No. Very true.
Like we are both by trades in the insurance business, and you definitely have to become a good listener. A lot of people that are new in the industry, they're like, I want to show you everything I know, Don. I'm so smart. I got a I got a good thing on the test. I got a good score. I'm fantastic. And so I got to be honest with you. You got to listen to people and hear what's important to them.
Yes.
And structure it to them because Donnie Lowe says not one size fits all. But and I am being honest about this, Don. If I have a new person with me and I know the sale's complete and they want to keep on talking, I don't do it to women. But if you're a dude, I am going to kick you under the table. So you shut the F up.
That's true.
It's great that you have all this knowledge, but just give the people what they want and you'll be successful,
Exactly.
So this has been an interesting show, Don. I hope people liked it. It's a little bit scary, some of the stuff that we talked about also, but life is scary, and it's really interesting to see what's happening between the war with AI, now Cuba. I mean, what's next?
I know.
Next on Donald Trump's world tour, taking it. We're gonna take over Canada, Greenland, Cuba. Anybody else? Anybody else want to invade anything? Who do you got? Don? Who you? Italy, Don? You want me to do that for you, buddy? So you and your Goombas can be Americas. Is that what you want, Don? So we're kidding about it, but like I said,
you forgot Venezuela.
Oh, Venezuela, yeah, that's ours too. Yeah, it's gonna be American. Yeah. So we're gonna close the show like we close every other show. Can you believe we're done already? Done.
No, it went by fast.
If you like working with people that are just like you, have the same values that you do, and have the same passion for life, love your children as much as we do, we are definitely the people you want to work with. You can reach us at ebiagency.com. You can reach us at buffaloinsurance@gmail.com. And what's the hotline, Donnie?
That hotline, 716-541-4118. That's 716-541-4118.
And for our amigos they can't hear us. They don't have electricity. In Cuba, it'll be on tape delay. Cuba. What's the number
Yeah.
for that, Don?
So in Cuba, 716 541 4118.
Whoa. Did you just turn into Desi Arnaz?
Cuba?
I think you might have. So,
Lucy.
all right, we are out
explain
of
it.
here. We are out of here. Keep yourself informed. You know, there's a lot more smarter people than we are, so make sure you listen to them. But like I said, make up your own mind on different things like that too. You know, but
Yeah.
the most important thing to remember is life is definitely worth living. What do you got to do, Donnie?
Just got to keep on fighting, baby. Keep on fighting.
Got to keep on fighting. We'll see you tomorrow on Insurance Questions Podcast. Take care, everyone.
Ciao, ciao.